Hi, everyone, and welcome to now it's called Coffee with the Commissioner. I'm Commissioner Emily. I'm your commissioner for District 5. And today I have one of my favorite coffee mugs, which is Chip from Beauty and the Beast. And I don't typically like to promote any products, but I will tell you that the coffee, I won't tell you which maker it is, but the coffee is from Puerto Rico. And there's these little cups that they sell, and I guess you'll have to look it up and try to find out which maker it is. But the maker says that they sell this coffee, the coffee from Puerto Rico, to helping with the issues that happened with Hurricane Maria. A lot of the coffee fields were destroyed. So they're starting to come back now in order to help them out economically. They're selling the Puerto Rican coffee. They do call it like cafecito. I don't know why they call it that because that's really a Cuban thing. But Puerto Rico, we add, so the coffee comes like about this much, and it's like an espresso, and so it fills up about this much of the cup, and then the rest of it is hot milk. And so in Puerto Rico, we call it café con leche, which means coffee with milk, and it's really good. You can add sugar to it, make it even a little bit more sweet. But I try to cut back on sugar, so I don't use sugar. I actually use almond milk for this because my son's allergic to cow milk, so we don't really buy cow milk in our house. So that's just a little bit about me, but I am going to go over some of the information from yesterday's BCC meeting. And it was a very busy actually, it was a very busy day. The whole day was busy. The consent agenda was packed with items, but a lot of good stuff. So a couple of the items I'll mention is we do have a chief officer for sustainability, and he had looked at our sustainability advisory board, and we're redoing some things there, reorganizing that board. We continue to work on the salary increase for our employees at the county to bring everyone up above $15 per hour, which is something I am extremely excited about and very supportive of. And I hope that other businesses in the county follow suit. We had, let me see, we had a presentation from the Charter Review Commission. And we have 3 great items on there that I would say please vote yes on 1, 2, and 3 for the county charter. And one of them is for the board to say no to going through Split Oak Forest with a road. The other one is protection of our waters. And the other one is to make sure that if we have a petition initiative, that people actually have a full 180 days to collect their petitions. What a petition initiative is that, and I guess I could back up here, the Charter Review Commission is a board that is made up of the people. They are appointed by the county commissioners, but our charter guides the county in how we're supposed to do things. And it's written by the people for the people, and it's voted on by the people. So every 4 years, we have a charter review commission of these citizens that get together and decide if there's anything on this that needs to be added to it or amended or taken out. And it's a long process, and they go through this, and then they come up with some items to put on the ballot. And we had 3 items, like I just mentioned, for the ballot for November. We also had a Census 2020 update, and I would say things are looking pretty good county-wide, but our district isn't doing so well. We could do better. So if you know anyone who, actually just go ahead and spread the word and tell everyone to please fill out the census, just to remind them if they haven't done it. And if you're a community leader, like a church or an organization, please reach out to your followers and ask them to fill out the census. It's very important that we get that information out there. We also, in my office, I put out some social media posts to help promote the census. So you could go ahead and share those as well to get the word out. We had our COVID-19 update. There wasn't a lot that was new there. We are starting to get some of the money out to the social services for providing services for those affected by COVID-19. We just had 2 land use cases in our district. One was split between 3 and 5, districts 3 and 5, mostly in District 3. And then another one that's by UCF. And it's a pretty exciting project. They're going to be redeveloping some of the shopping center there and building some new student housing. We also got rid of the alternative mobility areas. And what that was we had certain urban areas in the county that if a developer wanted to go and develop, they didn't have to meet concurrency for traffic. And so we got rid of that because it really wasn't working. Another amendment that we made to our policies and plans was considering school overcrowding with concurrency of that as well. So Tallahassee made some changes that affected how we were having school overcrowding concurrency here in Orange County. And so we had to adapt to that and make a change. Another item is that sometimes there are conflicts between our rezoning or our zoning map and our future land use map. And what happened was so you may have an ability to do like multifamily, but you're really at single family housing. So if you want to do a single family house, you'd have to go through this whole process to change your zoning, which is costly, and you're not asking for more. So we put something in place in order to make it easier for someone to do a single family house, even though the future land use is not consistent with that, or the vice versa, the zoning. So we just tried to make that a little bit more easier for people and cheaper on their pockets to build a house. I did talk to staff about also working on how we could clean that up so that we don't have a mess with the inconsistencies. So that's something that I'm working with staff on to help resolve that. And then we had the Affordable Housing Trust Fund plan, which we had some work sessions on, and we just went ahead and officially approved that plan. We had some adoptions of charges for wastewater. Unfortunately, expenses are going up, so we did have to go ahead and increase some fees. And then we had to have a long discussion on transportation impact fees. Now, transportation impact fees is something that you all should really be interested in, because I just grabbed some coffee here. We have a lot of transportation issues here in Orange County, and I know the mayor came up with an idea to do a transportation sales tax. However, since 2012, the developers who are developing here in Orange County were paying their impact fees at only 56%, which means these transportation impact fees are supposed to pay for the impact that this new development is creating on our transportation infrastructure. And they were only paying 56% of what they should have been paying at 2012 prices, which means they were not paying their fair share, which means growth was not paying for itself here in Orange County, and growth should be paying for itself. So my stance is always that we should charge them 100% of these impact fees, and they should be paying their fair share. And the argument from the development industry is always that, well, prices are going up, it's expensive for us. If prices go up on us, prices are going to go up on the buildings and houses that we're building. If you increase prices, we're not going to be able to do affordable housing. Our industry is suffering. I mean, there's always some excuse. However, during this time that they were getting 56% of their fees that they had to pay, they were doing really well. They were making luxury housing, more, boosting up the prices. having fun in their multi-million-dollar yachts, while the rest of us are here struggling and don't have affordable housing. And they said that, oh, we should keep these fees low so that we could have affordable housing. Well, they were low and they still did not build affordable housing. Instead, they went the other direction and built more luxury housing so they could have bigger profit margins. So I'm not going to fall for their sob stories. And another issue is that, well, you know, these fees get passed on to the end user, which is the home buyer, right? Well, if we have all these people moving to Orange County from other places and they're putting impact on the roads right away when they move here, they were not here like we were paying our fair share of taxes and paying for the infrastructure that we have. So I think it's only fair that if they move here, they pay for the impact that they're going to create here once they move here. And that impact is created immediately. So I don't buy that sob story either. So I think it's only fair that we charge 100% of these transportation impact fees. I was happy that the mayor at least agreed to 75%, but I'm hoping that we get to 100%. And he did bring up that we should probably phase it in over time, over 2 years, so that the developers aren't bombarded immediately with these fees. I will state, though, however, that another excuse that is brought up is competition, that we have to be competitive, you know, to encourage growth here. Well, I know a lot of you don't like that and don't want more growth here anyway, but impact fees really do not have an impact, pun intended, on competition. And I say that because our neighbor, Osceola County, is 2 of the highest in the state of transportation impact fees. They call it something different, but growth has not slowed down there, even though they're the highest. They're charging like double what we're charging. So again, I don't fall for that, those stories, those excuses. And it really wouldn't be, if we were to, I mean, you can't increase the fees within 90 days, but if we were to in 90 days just increase it to 100%, it wouldn't make a difference based on everything that's I've seen going on and everything that's going on around us. So that's that. And we are voting on that officially on October 27th. So I highly suggest that everyone email their comments to the board, the different commissioners, because we do get comments from developers. We had 21 emails from developers in favor of the transportation impact fees staying low and discounted and not raising them. We didn't get any comments from the public. So it's very important that the public expresses their voices, and because this affects you, this affects your taxes. And if the developers are not paying their fair share in impact fees, guess who is going to have to pay it? The mayor is going to ask for you to pay it in your sales taxes. So I'm sure you don't want to pay for the developers to continue making more profits on your backs. So let me see. That was actually the last item I have here. We did approve the Orange County Library budget, and that will be moving to the budget meeting that we have coming up. I will now open this up for any questions that anyone may have. And there should be a place to type in your questions in this platform. Right, Yvette, do you see any questions being typed in?
No, no one's put in this question yet.
Okay, well, we didn't have any questions emailed to us either. I know last time people were having a hard time putting in questions. So if there's a way to raise your hand if you're trying to ask a question, but it's not working, there should be a feature there to raise your hand as well, and you could try that. Yvette, are you able to see if anyone raises their hands?
Yes, we just had a question come in though. Someone said that they did try to get a question in last time, but it was too late. Okay, somebody said, thank you for today's update.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us.
I'm not sure if the person that couldn't get the question in last time, if they would maybe like to send it in again today. Okay, they said, in terms of defunding the police, and they didn't finish. I don't know if maybe they're trying to continue their question. Giving them some time so they can finish it.
Well, in regards to defining the police, I mean, I've definitely thought some more about that, and whenever we have any complaints from the constituents about needing more police coverage, it's usually related to mental illness, drug abuse, or homelessness. And all three of those issues are preventable or treatable. So our sheriffs shouldn't be dealing with those issues, though. We have other service providers that provide services for all three of those issues. So if our officers are being called mostly to those issues, then that's probably where we should be putting the money. And that's where we should be putting money into preventive measures and treatment for those three issues: mental illness, drug abuse, and homelessness. And I feel that if we put more money there, we will need less use of police officers needing to be called out, because those issues would be taken care of by other services. So
the
yes.
the constituent wrote. I'm gonna go ahead and try to unmute them to see. They said they could ask the question
Okay.
verbally. Go ahead,
Okay.
Mr.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. As I was trying to articulate in the chat box, but it was kind of long, is I'm not a fan of defunding the police. However, I don't understand what the Orange County Public School Police do, and I've asked that question to a couple deputies with the Orange County Sheriff's Office that work in the schools as resource officers, and they don't really understand what their role and what their responsibility is either. And I was curious if you could explain that a little bit more.
So I don't have a full understanding, I feel, to give you a complete answer, but I can try to answer it somewhat. So when they had the school shootings, they try to come up with some solutions in Tallahassee. And one of their solutions was to have an officer at each school, or have teachers that are armed. And so that's a decision that they made in Tallahassee, and then they put some of that decision also on the school boards. Because I'm not on the school board, I'd say I don't know as much as as someone who probably sits on the school board. So I know that's where the school resource officers were really demanded in all the schools. As far as what they do,
No, Emily,
so that was,
I understand that, and I understand what the Orange County Sheriff's Office do as of resource officers, but I'm talking about the entire other police department, the Orange County School Police Department. I've seen their cars drive around, and the resource officers themselves aren't clear of what they do. And from me looking from the outside, it looks like duplication, or it's just not clear.
yeah, because I'm on the school board, I really couldn't answer that. I
Okay.
just know what I know about the school resource officers because of what I followed
Yeah.
in the news and talking to people. And,
Okay.
we did have to make some decisions on the board about, helping to pay for that as well, because it was mandated on us by
Right.
Tallahassee. So that's as
Okay.
far as I know, my part in it. But,
Gotcha.
yeah. Sorry I can't be more helpful.
No problem. Thank you, Emily.
But definitely you can reach out to the school board member, and they'll probably be able to answer that question for you, hopefully.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have any other questions?
No, just another one was just thanking you for the information and asking if this information will be included in your newsletter.
Okay, so we do have these recordings that we put up on our YouTube channel, and then we go ahead and we do include in our newsletters. Sometimes if it doesn't get up on YouTube at the same time we put up the newsletter, sometimes it does get missed in the newsletter. So I highly suggest checking out our YouTube channel, and there you will be able to see all of the videos for the past. We used to call them Wind Down Wednesdays. Now we're doing them more during the day and calling it Coffee with the Commissioner. All right, if there are no more questions, we're going to go ahead and end today's Coffee with the Commissioner. I want to thank you for being here and joining us, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.